Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're so glad to welcome you as part of our community tonight. Please note that this webinar is being recorded and distributed live stream. By entering this virtual meeting room, you give your consent to be recorded and distributed by Vienna Live with Simeon Moore and other third parties. If you prefer to not be recorded, please go to the LinkedIn Live video feed, the link to which I've just placed in the chat room. Tonight, our featured guest is Omar Sosa, a jazz pianist whose latest album, Omar Sosa's 88 Well-Tuned Drums, is the soundtrack to the eponymous documentary about his musical career and will be the subject of tonight's conversation.
Omar Sosa.
He has his own style.
Many things.
Totally more of a conceptualist.
Jazz.
I'm not a jazz player.
Electronic.
Future.
Cubanía,
Africanía.
Afro-Cuban.
Afro-Cuban.
Post-classical.
Indian.
Citizen of the world.
World.
Special person.
This mix of traditional elements.
These different musical threads.
Paz. De armonía.
Maybe something there.
Progressive from the beginning.
I never know what he's going to come with next.
Like, wow, man, he's too much.
I think that you need to create a box, and the box says Omar.
It's Omar music.
You were born and raised in Cuba.
We have the opportunity to grab FM radio, which come from Miami.
Listening to Miami radio was a whole thing in Cuba.
I tend to say I left by accident. That is not true. I used to do jingles. I never studied piano.
The language is very different and the connection is always there.
I left because I think my time was finished. Estoy vivo ahora, pero podía haber estado muerto también. I'm a lucky man. Even the trouble I have in my life, they are not really trouble, they're a process.
It's about the rhythm. We can just make a party with one chord.
This is why I look the piano like 88 drums. I came to San Francisco, no English, nothing. I don't even know what's gonna happen. This is a non-stop life. I hope I can evolve it until my last day. This is my dream. I don't know if it's going to be easy for the people listening, but, you know, this is what come out, man. That's what I can say.
Omar, welcome.
Hello. Well, let me laugh a little bit because every time I see the thriller, I end it like this. No, thank you. It's a pleasure to be in your program. I see, and actually, it's good to see some excerpt of the documentary in that side. Behind the computer.
Omar,
Okay.
so tell us a little bit about your where you come from, how your musical tastes were formed, and when and how you decided to become a jazz pianist.
Well, it's a three question in one. So, well, I born in Camagüey, Cuba, in April 10 of 1965. I'm gonna turn 59 next week. Yeah, and basically, music in Cuba is part of our culture. Every single people in Cuba have some musical feel inside. Music is everywhere. Sometimes it's too loud. Sometimes you arrive to a place and the music is, wow, I just say, okay, can you bring down the music, please? But yeah, I decided to study music because in the beginning, my idea was to be a dancer. And I love to dance. But it was some later situation by that time in Cuba with the mother dance. It was, yeah, in español we say estaba estigmatizado, stigmatized. I think in English that's the word. And I decide, okay, I gonna play music. But in the beginning, I choose a cello. But my teacher told me, Omar, you have a problem because your finger, they're not correct for a cello because this finger is supposed to be bigger. And he told me, well, I'm gonna move you to percussion. And I said, well, what I like to play is music. So they moved me to a percussion. And I study classical percussion in my hometown in Camagüey, and after that we went to the National School of Art in Havana. After that, 1 year in the university in Havana. Why I play piano? I play piano basically by accident because my idea was to play vibraphone, marimba, xylophone, but by that time in Cuba we don't have so many of these instruments. And I remember I talked to my teacher, actually it's in the documentary too. I talked to my teacher, well, I would like to make a position for the symphony of the opera. And he said, Omar, you have a little bit of problem because I'm the guy who played there. And until I don't retire, you don't gonna have the share. I said, well, if my teacher told me this, forget it. I need to find a way to survive. So I look around, I say, okay, it's everywhere is piano. Out of tune, but it's piano. And I started to play piano with a friend of mine who was a percussion player too. And every single day for 1 year, when everybody would take lunch, we study. He played percussion and I played piano. And we switch. And he played piano and I play percussion. And now he's one of the most popular musical director of a dance band in Cuba. It's called Bamboleo. His name is Lasarito Valdés. And every time we see each other, we look at each other and say, hey man, we end in play piano. And now, now it's too late for me to come back. So that's all.
And Omar, you played, so you were first mainly, you said in Cuba, there's music everywhere. So we're talking about the dance music that we imagine, and then you got into classical music. So you wanted to go into classical music, but then you were kind of forced to find your own music. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, basically. It's when you are around some great musicians, because we have amazing musicians in Cuba in all our history. You have the possibility to go to one direction or to the other direction. Was a moment when I start playing in some bands. Basically, I say, well, I'm gonna play music. And in the beginning, I was more into singer-songwriters. I accompanied different singer-songwriters in Cuba. Then in some moment, when I moved to Ecuador, I decided, no, first, when I did my first trip to Mexico, I started to make my own music. I started to write my music. And when I have the opportunity to play my music, because a friend of mine, he was a host in a radio in Mérida, Yucatan, and he told me, Omar, you have your own music? I say, well, no, but I have the music already. He told me, well, we can put a band together and we can present your music in the radio. And I say, oh, great. And this is what the first click when I record, I record the first. By the way, he got the music. I try to get the music now. Yeah, Alejandro de la O in Mexico. He still have a great program in Mérida, Yucatan. And when I record the first song, it's called León Dormido, a Sleeping Lion. Is in one of my records. Yeah, I listen to the music. It's not bad. It's not bad. So this recording gave me a force to continue. And I say, well, I would like to do my music. And I start that day. Yeah, maybe it was like 30-something years ago until today. Basically, you know, my duration is trying to channelize the music that comes through me and try to put it out in the best and the honest way I can.
Okay, let's have a listen. So we're going to listen to Promised Land from the soundtrack.
Guide me, oh, thou great Jehovah. Pilgrim through this barren land, I am weak, but thou art mighty. Hold me in thy powerful hand.
It is a great story, that of the Negro in America. By the early 1500s, black explorers were coming to the New World. They came as explorers.
So Omar, tell us about this new album. It's a soundtrack to the documentary about your music. Tell us a little bit about how you chose the music to go with this from your entire career.
Well, I need to be honest. I don't choose the music. Was that the film director Soren Sorens? You know, he listened my 40 records, and he decided, well, based in the image, he say, okay, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put this, and it's interesting for me because, you know, I basically discover the music he chose when he finished the documentary, and for me was basically, you know, a beautiful listen different in different periods of my life, because each track is come from one moment. You know, for example, the track we listened before, Promised Land, yeah, is a collaboration I did with the singer-songwriter. Well, there's Soren there, with the singer-songwriter Tim Erickson, and what happened with that song is, I was invited to do some lecture in Princeton University, and in his class. And when I arrived, yeah, he put his maybe 200 students to sing a drone, and he starts singing on top of this beautiful drone of 200 students do it. was really touching. And I ended on tears. And when I finished my lecture there, I told Tim, brother, we need to do something. And turn out, a week after this, I supposed to play in New York in Blue Note. So I told my manager, please, can we invite Tim Erickson to Blue Note? And he said, wow, no problem. Let's see if the budget works. Yeah, but turn out, we all make it happen, and we record a live record of that concert, and that's the music. And I really, love this record. This record is called "Across the Divide," and ending with a nomination for the Grammys, because I think it was, in a way, the first time Afro-Cuban tradition was mixed with the Appalachians, with the music is come from from England to America, be inside of the African here, and I don't know, I did because the music was touching me, and I learned about how the music come from after, and and it's there. The music, 88 will to the drum, it's there.
And Omar, and do you know what he's singing about on that track? Do you know what he's saying, or what's his message?
Well, now I know a little bit more. In the beginning, well, my English is what it is. It's like Italian people say, così così.
Your English is excellent.
No, I survive. I can speak with you, but if you go deep, I need to say, okay, I pass. Somebody need to talk. Well, the point basically, he talking about the Middle Pass. He's talking about the Middle Pass when all the slaves come to America, and this is why we have this little fragment of a poem of Lyndon Hughes. The Black people come here as explorer, not as a slave. So, this is something, the way I function is I need to feel something inside. And this thing is give me the energy and give me the clear vision of how I'm gonna see the paint, the drawing, the paint and the colors inside of me. Sometimes I don't understand what they say until I record. This happened to me with Morocco. Yeah, it happened to me with India. It happened to me with Africa. Yeah, in South Africa with the project, the first project there was Sekou Keita. I think it's one of the track in the record with Sekou. He's from Senegal. He's speaking Wolof. I don't understand nothing, but I feel it. And It's interesting because it's until today, I need to say thank you to my spirit in light, because every time I say, I like this, when I learn what they say later, it's like a work. That means it's some force. There are on top of us, they guide us in a way, if we open our soul and ourselves inside, they never gonna betray us. They're gonna tell us, okay, you are a messenger. If you are a messenger, listen what I say and be honest and say this. And this is basically what I do. I work in a project now with it's gonna start in November with 6 women from the desert in Algeria. They come from the desert in Algeria to Paris to work. I'm in love with that project because, to be honest, I don't know what this lady sing, but every time I sing, I listen their voices, I'm in tears, I'm shaking. I say, some spirit started to tell me, go there. This project is called Lema. Lema is a group from Algeria. So basically, I don't know if I answer your question, but open, man, open the spirit, open the soul, and the energy is gonna come. and you're gonna put it back again. That's, I don't know, that's what I can say.
Wow. Yes, you definitely answered my question. Thank you. Let's have another listen to, now this is Tori Danzón. Okay, so Omar, tell us a little bit about these incredible musicians you work with. You just told us about these singers you're going to be working with from the desert of Nigeria. Your intuition is very important. You feel something, you said, when you hear musicians really making music. What do you look for in a musician? How do you know, you decide, okay, I want that bass player, I want that drummer?
Well, first, freedom, authenticity, and light. By the time you call a musician, this person already plays his instrument. If no, you don't call the guy. He's already played the instrument. But the point is how he can translate the message and how he can combine the message with the other elements. Humility, freedom, authenticity, an open mind, and be ready to sit in the table and eat together in the table. Basically the track you put before, it was my first connection with the Ginawa tradition in Morocco. And I remember when we did that record, we don't have any music written. It was verbal, we sit on the table eating, because basically it's one of the main ceremony I do before I start a tour, or before I go start to record a record or do a project. Let's sit down in the table and eat together. Yeah, because food, in my opinion, is the bottom line of the humans. We are what we eat. And when you share a table with some people, you start sharing energy. Like I always say, if something is true, we share our bacteria when we talk. And it's good to share in happy bacteria, because if we share in happy bacteria, all what we're going to generate is going to be happy. So maybe every time I use this term, people say, "Are you crazy?" No. But it's true. What was one of the problems with COVID? Bacteria. Why you want to have the mask? Because of bacteria. So, and with this project, Sentir, when we went to the studio, basically, I communicate with all the musicians with colors. I say, please, how you can interpret it? Because in our Afro-Cuban tradition, we have the orishas, and the orishas, they have their colors. You know, Yemaya is blue, Oshun is yellow, Obatala is white, Shango is red. So in the Ginawa tradition, they have the same thing. Yilala, and Musawin is blue, Yilala is white, Samawin. So I put the Ginawa people with the Afro-Cuban people, and you say, okay, let's do white now. If we start playing. And it was interesting because the bass line, if you listen in the song before, is an instrument called gimbre. Gimbre is one of the backbones of the Ginawa tradition. It's a three strings instrument. Yeah, that you can hit like a bass, like electric bass. And when El Hussein Kili, it was the musician who recorded gimbre, started playing, he was fixed perfect with the tumbao I played. And that day it was a proof that we are all together. And when Marta starts singing, she starts singing in Creole, because she felt the groove of the Ginawa, of the Hussein Kili, can bring her to sing in that kind of traditional language that we don't use anymore in Cuba, but the people who are deep inside of the tradition, they know about this kind of, it's called tumba francesa. It's basically the French side of our Afro-Cuban tradition. In that record, we have Gustavo Valles on percussion. We worked together for more than 30 years. We have a Hussein Kili. He's from Morocco. He was on the gimbre and the carcabas. Carcaba is another traditional instrument from Morocco. It's metals. You play like, and myself. Yeah, actually Marta Galarraga, of course. Yeah, the lead singer. And the music come out natural because I always believe that everything need to come out natural. We come natural. When mom give us, put us in the planet, in natural. Sometimes it was a little forced, but it need to be natural. But it need to be. Anyway, I don't know. This is. I hope I can answer your question. Sometimes I go to corners.
Very well, thank you. And Omar, I just wanted to, before we listen to the next track, I wanted to clarify. You said that all of these different world instruments, they're associated with colors. Is that what you were saying? That some of these instruments, that's blue, or?
No, in that record, I'm talking about Sentir. I'm talking about the track you played before. It's called Tori Danzón. Yeah, Tori, it is Tori, Torirato. Danzón is because it's the rhythm that we use for this in the Cuban side is a danzón. But in this record, it's called Sentir, by the way, it was a Grammy nominee too. I discovered now all the tracks in the record, they're part of nominee. My records, they have some nomination, is Sentir. We have all the traditional instruments there. Is basically acoustic. That record is pure acoustic, no electronic, was only traditional instrument and wood instrument, like a gimbre, piano, percussion, well, metal too, carcabas and voice. That's all. In that record, Sentir.
Okay, let's have a listen to another track. This track is So All Freddy. Okay.
Oh, man. I was impressed. I was like, oh, I did that shit.
Well, applause all around.
Man. That's interesting, wow. Freddy. So all Freddy, yes, all Freddy. Yeah, this is a project I did. It's called Egun. Egun in the Afro-Cuban tradition is called Spirit. And it's one dedicated to Miles Davis because all the music of the record is, all what you listen there was played by Miles in kind of blue. All the notes you listen there. But the point is, what I did, what took me a year to translate all the solos and everything of kind of blue. And I discovered when I finished was a book already of this. So I pick up I close my eyes and I pick up areas in the transcription I did, and I put together and I create a song. And this song, Soul Freddy, is based on the song of Freddie Free Loader. All the melody you listen there, all the notes, they're part of the song of kind of blues called Freddie Free Loader. So now I listen that music because when I finish a recording, I don't listen to this music anymore. It's over. It's past. Next step. Next one. And now I listen to this, I say, wow, Lionel Lueke, we have a great session, man. And in one studio in New York, System 2 doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. It was a really emblematic studio in New York, System 2. And we have a beautiful, beautiful session. Yeah, like I was telling you, we eat together first. But this time, everything was writing. This time, it was no crazy stuff. Let's read the paper. I know, but it's always freedom. inside of it. What you hear when Lionel improvised, when the other guy improvised, but it's a lot of structure in that song. That piece has come from Egun recording. Actually was Grammy nominated too. So now I discovered this because of the program. I don't put attention on this before.
Well, Omar, we are delighted to discover this music together in your company and to have you guide us through it. It's a real privilege. So I'd like us to now go to our philosophical part of the conversation that I know everyone's very excited about because everyone is every week. So the philosophical question is, Omar, in the United States, many people from my generation were introduced to Cuba in 1997 through guitarist Ry Coder's recordings with the Buena Vista Social Club. That band's impressive musicianship and fresh, dynamic music made Cuba come across as a new world cultural destination hiding in plain sight. As we just heard, your music includes the Cuban dance music of the Buena Vista Social Club and a whole lot more. We can hear the modern sub-Saharan fusion of Richard Bona, the austere, serious sounds of Miles Davis' Kind of Blue, and the politically charged hip-hop of the Black Lives Matter movement. Maybe that's why Eugene Hawley Jr., who wrote the liner notes to the documentary soundtrack, goes out of his way to underline how, quote-unquote, black your music is. My question is, what is authentic music to you? Should people want to dance to it or listen and meditate when they hear it? Also, do you have to be, quote-unquote, black to understand your music?
Okay, let's start from the end. We are humans. We don't need to be black and white, Chinese, or whatever. You simply need to open and receive. And the music and the art touch you or not. It's not too much mystery behind this. Sometimes we put too many colors, put too many names, and okay, this come from this come from this, but before this person is other person who did this before. Yeah, because, we can talk about Richard, we can talk about Buenavista, we can talk about, but let's put it that way. The piano player of Buenavista, Ruben Gonzalo, he was my teacher. So it's simple. It's like I was telling you in the beginning of the conversation. In Cuba, you have music every day. So, and by that time, the TV program in Cuba, they was so interesting that we don't even realize how interesting it was for us, for our education. They put music from the 15th century to the last moment, and for us it was normal. But when I went out of Cuba, I tried to realize, oh, I'm Cuban. But I'm Cuban not because I born in Cuba. I'm Cuban because I keep some roots that I need to continue to let's say to move on with that tradition. And the point of Africa is motherland. Our music have the influence of the African music and the Western music. So this is why you listen to danzón, you listen all this music. They have some kind of, I don't want to say aristocratic touch because it's not the right word. This kind of majestic sound of but it's already with Cuban syncopation, but the melody, they're Western melody. Mozart, Bach, of course. Bach is the first jazz musician. Debussy, Ravel, but Africa was there because we have something in Cuba, unfortunately, was caught here in America. We get the drum with us when we arrive to Cuba. The African American, they don't have their drum when they arrive to here. So they later on they look for something, and this is why they create, like the blues is another expression, another way to express themselves. We keep the drums, and even today, the bata drums in Cuba, African people from Nigeria, if they want to learn the traditional way, they need to come to Cuba to learn the traditional way, because the bata drum is have a strong evolution in Nigeria, and they don't play anymore with hands. And in Cuba, we still play with hands. And it's a really, really, really powerful scene. Yeah, I think I answered your last question. It was another question in the middle where you say about Buena Vista with Africa when you mentioned the name of Richard.
Mm-hmm. Tell us, what's authentic music? What's real music to you? Is it to dance? Is it to meditate?
You know, music is music when it comes from the bottom of your heart. And when you feel it, I think I answered already. Music touch you or no. And some people in a dance music, they feel different things. And some people in the meditate music, they feel to dance. Because, you know, I always say is if you move your body, your cells, they're moving with you, and you became more elastic. If you are more elastic, you can receive the heavy scene on life more elastic. It's like a, Matrix. You can be more elastic, more the plasticity inside of you is more flexibility. That's the word, flexibility, because you move. Dance music can be meditative music, and meditative music can be a dance music. What we call classical music can be a dance music too. Was a dance music in his moment. Mozart did a lot of music for dancing in interesting places. Other there for listening. And today you need to go to a theater, sit down like this, you cannot move, because we create that structure. But if some people, other music say, okay, Latin music is for dance. No, if you want to go to a concert. By the way, Buena Vista, they used to play concerts in the bigger halls in the whole entire planet, and everybody was sitting there and no one can move. And this was a dance music. So, it's a, everything is together, man. Everything come together, and we decide based in what we feel, based in how we experience our life, what is the direction we're gonna take that music for our soul, for our spirit. And I said again, I repeat the third time, the art touch you or not. This is the way I see it. That's all.
Let's have another listen. This is our final track of tonight. This is Cha Cha du Nord. So I'd like to ask Omar, what do you wish those who listen to this music, to this album in particular?
What? Have fun and enjoy. You're talking about moving. If you feel to move. I was moving now. I say, okay, it was not bad. It was not bad. Yeah. That it essential is my second big band record. Yeah, with the NDR big band is one of the best big band. Well, so far, based on the critics, it's one of the best big band in the world. From Hamburg, from the radio in Hamburg, NDR, and I have the great fortune and the privilege to have a Jack Morelenbaum, who is one of my masters too, and my hero, arrange my music. So this is one of the records sometimes I listen because I feel myself. But I feel myself, but it's not, it's myself, but it's remodeling, but Jack universe. And I really like this record because it's a music. You have a lot of elements, a lot of information, but in the end, is not dense. Even if it's big band, because sometimes the big band can be as big band is big. So you have a big sound, but its subtlety, the subtlety is still there. And this is something I really love in music. Subtlety and detail and silent. And in this record, don't matter if it's a couple songs, they are, the record by himself is more essential.
Okay, so I would like to take everyone on a little journey to see how they can get this. So this documentary about Omar's life is this is the soundtrack LP. Omar Sosa's 88 well-tuned drums will be available on April 20th as part of Record Store Day at participating vinyl shops in the US and UK. It will be available online 6 weeks after Record Store Day. So I believe you can come here to to omarsosa.com, and there'll be information about that. And the documentary will be available starting on April 20th on TV on demand, including Amazon, Google Play. So if you need any information, you can just come to omarsosa.com. And Omar, if people want to get in touch with you, can they write here under contact?
Oh yeah, they can write there, and actually they can write me to in Instagram, Omar Sosa Music. Yeah, and because sometimes I don't look every day the web page, but I look every day Instagram.
Okay, fantastic.
Just because the people start to communicate now through Instagram, not to WhatsApp, or they don't call you anymore. They don't call you in Instagram. You have it, so hey, you're gonna be here in the home. So I check Instagram, Omar Sosa Music, and the people can write about whatever question or whatever they like. And actually, the information is going to be there too, where the places where the documentary is going to be available. And actually, of course, my webpage, www.omarsosa.com, Instagram, Omar Sosa Music, and Facebook, Omar Sosa Music also. So I don't know if I have Twitter, to be honest. And what is the other one? Twitter with the TikTok. I don't have time for this. Sorry, I don't have time for this.
So
I want to put attention to what in this reality, people see people, try to meet people, try to create something. Yeah, because this instrument is helpful sometimes, but another time they take a lot of energy of your life. And when you see, oh, I've been here for 2 hours already. Anyway, but it's the moment that we live. We need to be inside of the car and move to whatever direction the car go, at least to manage in the best way.
And so everybody feel free to reach out to Omar. That's Omar Sosa Music, omarsosa.com, or at Omar Sosa Music on Instagram. And Omar, that's right. People can reach out to you with their questions.
Oh, yeah. I'm always available. I'm a simple guy, man. I'm really simple. You know, it's important to make the life simple because the most you carry in your backpack, heavy is your weight. And better and unless you can see the reality come to you, unless you enjoy less, because you need to carry the weight that you have in your backpack. So simple. Humility, man. Simplicity.
Omar Sosa, thank you so very much.
Thank you. Yeah, I have a two amazing person. You look at me. Listen. I was waiting for them to say something. Or hello, how you doing? Yeah.
They're applauding.
Okay. Well, my love, my respect. Thank you. Well, unfortunately, we don't be able to talk. Yeah, I talked a couple of words with one of the college, and thank you so much, and much love, and I share an equilibrium balance inside of us is gonna give the opportunity to digest all the heavy information you were dealing today in the planet. Less is more. Less is more. Always.
Okay, let's see what's coming up next week on Vienna Live. So you can go to simeonmoro.com to see what's happening. There's some new content out. And next week we have Brian Bromberg LaFaro.
Bass player, man, amazing bass player. Brian.
While Tucson-born, Los Angeles-based Brian Bromberg has been equally conversant and downright virtuosic on both electric and upright basses, he sticks strictly to the latter on his latest offering, LaFaro, a tribute to the legendary jazz bassist whose revolutionary contributions to the classic Bill Evans trio still reverberate to this day. Bromberg's 28th as a leader shows him as an unadulterated swinging trio setting in the company of pianist Tom Zink and drummer Charles Ruggiero. LaFaro will be released on April 5th in CD, LP, and digital formats on Bromberg's own B Squared Productions label. Come welcome Brian Bromberg to Vienna Live. Again, that's next Wednesday. Brian Bromberg LaFaro. As always, all information about upcoming shows can be found at www.simeonmoro.com. Once again, thank you so very much to Omar Sosa. Thank you very much to Victoria and Frederick Mulligan and Agnieszka and Benoit Rivolet for their support of this show. Thanks to my cousin Mike, a marketer from Layer App. If you're an architect or engineer, they have a really cool tool you should check out. Thanks also to Mary Schlesinger for the lovely Viennese library. Thanks most of all to you, our participants who make it all worthwhile from New London, New Hampshire, and San Francisco, California. Goodbye, and see you next Wednesday.